the snarl a bit bigger these days for that big bulldog outside the McCarthy Athletic Center. The Zags off to a 2-0 start, and they have looked fantastic. Bryant, the Bulldogs, they're in town out of the Northeast Conference. You're inside the McCarthy Athletic Center where they're already in a froth, ladies and gentlemen. Great to see everyone again. Greg Heister, Dan Dickow, and Richard Fox. And guys, game number 3, and this team already playing with great chemistry with all these new faces. How's he doing?
Well, it's hard to believe that only 3 games in now, they look like it's January or February. It's been very impressive, the chemistry that they've created in a short amount of time.
Yeah, 5 of your top 8 players are all fresh to the program. It's been remarkable how quickly they've come together.
And Dan, Jordan Matthews was a great player at Cal. He brought his show here to Zagville, and he's equally as good, maybe better.
Well, it's amazing, exactly as what you said, is the grad transfer from Cal seemingly not missing a beat, averaging 16.5 on the season in the 2 wins over Utah Valley as well as San Diego State. Known primarily as a 3-point shooter, as showcased the other night, going 5 for 7 from the stripe. But what he's done is he's been able to get in the paint, create havoc, and find guys, but defensively bringing great energy through 2 games.
And Richard, to coin the great phrase of the great Dennis Green, he is what we thought he was.
Yeah, and Zach Collins is as good as we thought he was. It's been a remarkable start to his season for a young big guy. Often it takes a while for your young post players to get acclimated. Boy, he has figured it out in a hurry on the year, 9 of 12 against San Diego State the other night. 6 of 7 from the field, made all 3 of his 3 throws, 15 points, 8 rebounds. And what you like is he's doing other things, Greg. 3 offensive rebounds, 3 steals. You see that potential starting to come through.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, game number 3 on this season. The Zags will be wearing turquoise uniforms. We'll explain that when we come back. Bryant, the Bulldogs, Northeast Conference up against the Zags next. We'll get you tonight's starting lineups in the tip-off when we come back. And there's a shot of the Hemmingson Student Center here on the campus of Gonzaga University. The Zags now 2-0 on the season, and the Bryant Bulldogs in town. They are to the Northeast Conference, and it is time to get this show rolling, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome inside the McCarthy Athletic Center, or as I like to call it, the house that Dan built. That'd be Dan Dickow. And the students, of course, loving this program and already in mid-season form around here, as is this basketball team, or it seems. Start with the starting lineups tonight, brought to you by Numerica Credit Union. And we start with Bryant, and they've got a couple of freshmen and a couple of sophomores out there. One of the freshmen is Akena Nduba, number 0, and then Adam Grant, Dan Garvin, Marcel Petway. But there's another sophomore, the other guard position. Dan, they're young.
They are young. They're a team that finished 8-23 a season ago, but they're predicted 3rd in the Northeastern Conference, mainly due to such great young talent.
And the head coach, Tim O'Shea, now in his 9th season, and has brought his team all the way west. He'll play a few games out here. He's got Eastern Washington yet, too. And Richard, what's he expect to get done tonight?
Well, I talked to Coach O'Shea before the game, and really, he wants to see his guys compete. You know, he understands it's going to be a difficult environment. His players are not accustomed to this. He wants to see how they react over the course of 40 minutes. He's got the long-term view.
And the starting lineups for Gonzaga: Silas Melson, Jordan Matthews, Nigel Williams-Goss, the 3 guards, along with Jonathan Williams and Shemek Karnowski patrolling that front line for head coach Mark Few. And, of course, gentlemen, Mark Few will be the first guy to tell you who starts the game means little. He's got a great rotation of players this year.
Yeah, I think particularly along that backcourt, most of those guys are pretty interchangeable. You can really start any 3 of those 4 and feel very comfortable with what you got out there on the floor.
Time now for our keys to the game.
For Gonzaga, they must dominate from the jump. Got out to a 30-point lead, ended up only winning by 21 over San Diego State the other night.
Yeah, I think chemistry, we talked about it right there at the top. 5 of your top 8 players are new to the program. It's going to take a little while to get this all put together. Great start to the year, but you've got to continue that tonight.
And lastly for Gonzaga, shot selection. One of Coach Few's favorite mantras. Pass up a good shot for a great one. With this much talent on the roster, you should never, ever be selfish.
And those keys to the game brought to you by Northern Quest Resort and Casino. Zag fans, Northern Quest is your ultimate destination for fun. Check it out at northernquest.com today to learn more. series history. Second time. I think we did the first meeting between these two teams back in 2013. It was a big Zag win that night, too. Zags in those turquoise colors. It is Nike N7 night. And, of course, we are celebrating the Native American Heritage Month. Turquoise, the symbolic color of friendship and fellowship in their culture. So we welcome that, and what a great night it is. A festive evening here tonight at McCarthy Athletic Center. And right away, we have our first foul of the game.
Well, you can see Gonzaga right away trying to establish the interior with Shamrock Karnowski because Bryant really does not have much size at all.
Yeah, Petway was all freshman last year, freshman of the year, but just giving up 6 inches inside, about 60 pounds as well. Karnowski, that's just going to be there all night for GU. You've got to almost force the issue early in the game and force Bryant to start doubling down. That'll open up some of those jump shots.
Karnowski with that patented jump hook with the left hand. I talked to him today at practice about getting into shape and basketball shape. He's getting close, gentlemen. He thinks he's got a little bit to go, but he's getting much closer. That's Nezre Zuzwa with the ball, number 2. Drives on Melson. Shot away, and it drops, tied at 2.
Zuzwa is as aggressive a scorer as you're going to see coming into this building. All freshmen a season ago.
Great catch by Karnowski. The finish.
Off the high-low, we've seen that in heavy doses to start the year. First 2 games, particularly with Collins and Tilly at the top of the key, they've done a nice job of finding that their counterpart on the low block right there. A nice look from Williams.
Petway drives and scores for Bryant.
And unfortunately for Shemmick, he's going to have to handle that a lot tonight. They're going to spread the floor and try to put dribble pressure on him. He's going to have to move his feet and stay out of foul trouble.
Karnowski again, his 3rd touch, threw it to Williams. And Jonathan will go to the free throw line here. Tied at 4, 18:30, just underway here.
Well, you see the
first half.
High-low, we talked about it. Petway tries to gamble and go get the ball. And Karnowski hits the deck, able to get up quickly, but that's going to be there all night, regardless of who's on that low block. It could be Collins, Tilly, Williams. Gonzaga's got to make sure they find the ball inside.
Here's Matthews looking for his first shot. He goes right back to the post. Williams spins. He's in trouble on that baseline. Fights his way to a shot, but missed it.
Really want to see him get going here this evening. Struggled the other night against San Diego State, 1 for 9 from the field, but he's earned the right to start due to his off-season workouts and regimen. They really like him at the 4.
And driving on Karnowski was Petway. Missed it, but the putback is good.
Again,
and Bryant with a 2-point lead.
Again, dribble penetration, attacking Gonzaga's bigs, in particular Karnowski off the bounce.
There's Williams-Goss right to Karnowski again. And he squares to the bucket this time and knocks it through.
And he went faster on that catch than he did the previous 2 times where he allowed the double to really set up and come attack him on the low block right there. Immediately on the catch, got over that right shoulder, rather that left shoulder, and got his shot off.
Karnowski with all 6 now for Gonzaga. Bounce pass, Grant driving, and he's fouled by Williams. And number 15, Adam Grant, the freshman out of Franklin, Virginia, will shoot 2.
Right away, you can see why Petway was the Rookie of the Year in the Northeastern Conference. Last year, shot 60% from the field. Tonight, you've seen him step out and try to use some of his quickness against Karnowski right there. A great feed from the low block. That's a real weapon for them, particularly once they get in conference play. At that level, he's going to force a lot of double teams and open things up for his teammates.
And Grant missing the front end. 2 freshmen, 2 sophomores starting this game for Bryant tonight.
Both Grant and Towns played in high school together. Both of them first-team All-State selections. That's a talented class that's come in. For a lot like GU, it takes a while to put all these pieces together. But for Bryant, their talent level, when you talk to Coach O'Shea, has really increased this year, and it starts with those 2 freshmen.
Matthews to Karnowski. Shemmick just spins and scores. And at what point in time when that's so easy to score, do you want to get the other offense going and move the ball around? Or do you just keep going back to Shem?
We said off the start, as Dan Garvin gets a nice finish, they were going to try to establish Karnowski early and often. They've done that every single time down, going in, and he's made the right decision, whether it's post, kick it back out, and repost.
Karnowski's going to have 50 at this rate. Here's Melson. 3! And that rattles in.
And That's great basketball. Initially, Karnowski gets the double, kicks it out. Nelson's not comfortable, throws it back in. As Karnowski gets the rebound, it's that second kick out from the low block that opens up the jump shot.
Williams-Goss from coast to coast. 4-point Zag lead.
The ability to finish in transition from Nigel Williams-Goss is something that separates him from a lot of other point guards in the WCC. Got great size, and he's patient when he gets into the paint, ready to finish.
Zuzwa is tied up by Williams-Goss. Possession arrow stays with Bryant. 15:58 to play, first half at McCarthy Athletic Center. Gonzaga ranked 14th in the country. Karnowski was 6 early. He feeds Melson there, and Silas buries the three. Gonzaga Hoops is brought to you by Northern Quest. It's your ultimate destination for fun. Experience true Vegas-style gaming, stay in a luxurious hotel, see a spectacular show, and eat in the finest restaurants all under one roof. Visit northernquest.com today to learn more. And welcome back. Shemek Karnowski with 8 of the 13 for Gonzaga. They lead at 13-9. First 4 minutes in the books here in game number 3 in the season for the Zags. Bryant basketball. The inbound pass was kicked by Williams. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Greg Heister, Dan Dickow, Richard Fox. We are courtside. Josh Perkins, number 13 on the floor for GU. And so is Zach Collins, number 32. 4 on the shot clock. Bryant may not get one off. They're not gonna. There's a shot clock violation out of a timeout.
A great defense by Gonzaga on the baseline out of bounds, but I'm sure it was addressed by Coach Few in that last timeout. Bryant gets off to a great start, 4 for 6 from the field. You've got to give them a lot of credit coming into this environment and not backing down. They're a program that will go play anybody, any place. Played at Duke last season, at Michigan, at Georgetown, as well as here at Gonzaga 3 years ago. They're willing to play anywhere.
Here's Collins. He was lethal against San Diego State. Down there on the post, missing his first shot in this game. And out of transition, that ball was halfway through by Adam Grant that bounced out. Melson to Williams-Goss. Perkins wide open on the weak side, and he traveled. Josh does not agree, and that is turnover number 1 for GU.
30-10. 30-10.
Dan trying to bait me into that. Hunter Ware, number 1 on the floor for Bryant. Driving down the lane against Collins, and he pins a foul on him. That's Nezre Zuzwa. He'll shoot free throws, and Collins picks up his first.
Well, Karnowski comes out, Collins comes in, and you bring Perkins in for Matthews. Nice change of pace for the Bulldogs. You go with a full court press, or really 3/4 court press, trying to speed Bryant up, but that's a great read. Against that kind of trap, you want to get the ball in the center of the floor. That'll open things up. You get yourself 2 free throws. That's one of my questions, Dan, is how good can this team be on the defensive side of the floor? I think offensively, it's pretty obvious this team can be pretty lethal on that end of the floor, but is this going to be a high-level defensive team like we saw last year? I mean, last year, that Bulldog team was able to keep teams under 30% from 3. That's the first time in years.
I think if you look at last year's team, they did it based off of understanding scouting reports and executing it. This year, they've got the ability to do that later in the year because of so many newcomers, so many young guys. But right now, they're doing it with length and athleticism, and they did a great job in the zone against San Diego State the other night.
Foul called on Nezre Zuzwa, his first, team's 3rd. And Nigel Williams-Goss at the free throw line. One of the many new faces for head coach Mark Few in this program, but this is a kid that was highly touted coming in as a transfer, Dan, at the University of Washington. Good player.
McDonald's All-American, chose UW, wanted to change his scenery simply for the fact that he wanted to get to a team where he felt could advance deep in the NCAA tournament. Gonzaga's lucky to have him. He's lucky to be here at Gonzaga as well.
Second turnover against Bryant as Hunter Ware called for the carry. Let's take a look here. There you saw it. We'll see that once or twice here until about Christmas. They'll never see it again. Silas Melson. Here's Williams on the post. He traveled.
Right now, everything is moving a little bit too quickly for Williams. He's got to go right on the catch. And nearly all of his post touches, he stops, and it's almost like he's trying to process things. Use your athleticism, your strength on the catch. Go quickly, go immediately, get into your shot. Right now, he's just a little bit hesitant on those catches.
The other thing maybe is Gonzaga's guards got to do a better job of cutting out in that situation. That time, Nigel Williams-Goss, his defender sat in his lap.
Third turnover of the game for Bryant. That'll be Gonzaga basketball. And there is Akena Nadoba back on the floor. That's 3 turnovers now in the last 5 possessions for Bryant.
After initially breaking this Gonzaga press, Bryant has really struggled trying to get the ball past half court.
And there's Williams-Goss with the hoop and the harm, a chance for 3.
That's something unique to Williams-Goss, is his ability to finish around the rim. It's not just on drives, as we see here, off a nice curl, good read. He can post up. We haven't seen that from a Gonzaga guard probably since Matt Bolden was able to do that a number of years ago. He provides a lot of versatility and toughness around the rim, can get you buckets inside the paint.
Goss now with 7 points. Killian Tilly on the floor for GU. And this freshman tandem on the post for Mark Few is lethal against the Aztecs. Turnover and the lay-in for Williams-Goss.
The ability to create turnovers and convert is something that Coach Few really likes out of this Gonzaga backcourt. That time, get a hand on the ball, quick conversion at the other end. Nigel Williams-Goss, the recipient of the steal and turnover.
Goss has scored the last 9 points for GU. He's 3 of 3 from the floor, 3 of 3 from the line, a rebound and an assist.
I think what he's done tonight is take what the game has opened up for him. A couple times in particular against San Diego State, he tried to force the action. There was one in particular, shot an air ball from about the free throw line. It seemed like he was probing too much for his own stuff early in that game. Tonight, he's let the game come to him. He's established the interior. All of a sudden, when you do that, you're able to find buckets, whether it's the curl that you talked about on the three-point play, or you fall into things after converting turnovers.
Collins and Tilly, as we look more at Williams-Goss, but those two together against San Diego State. Man, oh man, the future is bright.
It's extremely bright, but I think the thing that really stood out the most to me was how active they were. In particular, Tilly, he seems to just have an absolute nose for the ball. He knows how to get to certain positions and read maybe where the ball is going to come off the rim.
And now some pressure by the Zags. They take it away, but a foul called here on Tilly, who doesn't agree, doesn't understand, as Dan Garvin came out of there with the basketball. But indeed, the foul is called against GU. And you see what they did in these opening couple of games for Gonzaga. They've been impressive.
Yeah, that doesn't break down. I mean, Tilly's been able to step out, knock down, I believe, 3 threes on the year. Zach has that range as well. I mean, that's a lot of length and versatility coming off your bench. And what you like is they've got live bodies. They're really active for young players. It's a kind of a different change of pace than you have with Williams and Karnowski in the starting lineup.
That foul was called on Melson, his first, team's 4th, and he's replaced by Matthews, Dan.
I think with those two bigs in particular, you're never going to have to coach effort and hustle, which as a coach, you never want to have to do it anyways.
Zuzwe missing from deep 3, rebounded by Nadoba, and a new clock for the Bryant Bulldogs. Zuzwe drives, great lead for Garvin, and he scores off the glass. And that ends a 12-1 run for GU. There's Collins on the block, spins to the baseline. How easy is that?
And just quick, he's decisive against In the first game, he hesitated on his catches. I mean, that's his first Division I game. You saw it against San Diego State. You saw it on that move. Immediately on the catch, he's got a purpose with where he wants to go with the ball. That's very difficult to guard.
Here's Adam Grant. He's hit a lot of shots from behind the arc this season. He can shoot it from out there. Williams-Goss to Tilly. Collins again. Left hand this time, and he scores.
The ability to finish with either hand is impressive by that young man. But to reiterate something that Richard had said a moment ago is he does a great job of initiating the contact and then spinning off it when the defense reacts to the first bump.
And there's the defense by Tilly inside. Another block, but then the whistle and a foul call. Or was the ball? Yeah, I guess the ball went out of bounds.
Yeah, it's hit the end line here. Tilly's out of position. Great move from Garvin, but that length is sneaky. You think you've got an easy shot around the rim, and both Collins and Tilly in particular, they go on for days.
And now Bryant goes to work on the post. This is Petway trying to kick it out. It's out of bounds. And turnover number 5 for Bryant.
And interesting, you take out Karnowski and Matthews, and you bring in Collins and Perkins. And since that time, they got into this press. They've really started to speed up Bryant, and you've seen how uncomfortable Bryant's been on their offensive end.
Bryant now going to 2-3 zone. See how Gonzaga attacks it.
Williams-Goss for 3. Collins, the putback is good.
One problem when you're in the zone is the ability to rebound. That time, Collins understands it, gets himself to the front of the line, front of the rim with the putback.
Tough shot by Zuzwe. Collins, another rebound. Actually, his first of the game to go along with those 6 points. And Zach right back on the post with a huge size advantage in there. But Perkins shoots the long 3. Collins his second rebound. And he's fouled. Free throw line coming. Zach Collins, 3 of 4 from the floor, 3 rebounds now. And I tell you, this kid is just getting better every minute on the floor for head coach Mark Few. Zags lead it early, 26-12. And welcome back to the McCarthy Athletic Center. Gonzaga on an 18-3 run right now, and 10 of 11 of their field goals have been scored from inside the paint. Time now for the Arby's trivia question. How many current Zags are on the Zag squad that played Bryant to begin the 13-14 season? Was it 5, 4, 0, or 2? Text your answer to 27297.
I'm not even going to answer that one, Greg.
Oh, you know it, huh, Dan?
I wish I did. I wish I could help our viewers out there.
Well, Tim O'Shea now just trying to figure out anything. Well, first to slow down the Zag offensive.
Yeah, first things first, you can't keep turning the ball over. 5 turnovers now for Bryant. You got to slow down a little bit as Collins knocks out the first free throw. Against that press, you can't necessarily beat it with the dribble. You've got to look to move the ball, pass it around, and try to find a weakness in that press. Right now, just Bryant's really been sped up by that press.
Well, after that first media timeout, as Collins misses the second free throw, Bryant 1 for 6 with 5 turnovers the last 4.5 minutes. That definitely is not going to get it done here in McCarthy Center.
Zuzwe. Naduba. 12 on the shot clock. This is Sebastian Towns driving. Got it back and then tried to go to Garvin, but threw it away. Perkins. Goss. Free throws.
This 2-point guard lineup with Perkins as Goss, and Goss is something that is a real luxury. You see it a lot of times these days throughout the college game and even in the pros, but the fact that these two guys really want to get it out the floor and push it, but they also have great size and they've got the ability to see over the top of the defense.
The big Shem back on the floor as Collins gets a breather. And Mel Melson checks back in for Williams-Goss. So Williams-Goss checks out with 11 points. He leads GU. Karnowski's next with 8. He's back on the floor. Naduba backs it out. Tilly flashes out defensively and ran into the freshman out of Boston, Massachusetts, and he's called for the foul. His first, team's 5th.
Oh, you got to give him credit. Great job of attacking hard off that pick and roll. One of the hardest things for a big in guarding a pick and roll is to hard hedge and get the ball handler to change his speed, change his directions. That time, Duba goes right into the hip of Tilly, draws the foul.
But then you don't want one of your post players picking up a foul that far away from the bucket, do you?
Well, with the depth of this front court, it's not that big a deal, in my opinion, as Adam Grant knocks down the corner 3. But, you know, you also don't want to take one of Tilly's strengths away from him as a big defending a pick and roll, and that's his activeness and his willingness to guard.
Karnowski falls to the floor, but a foul called inside, and I believe it's on Sebastian Towns, a freshman out of Chesapeake, Virginia.
See, Karnowski's trying to spin baseline and drops his right foot and just gets caught. That's an awkward fall to the floor. He's up, Greg.
Yes,
shooting
he
free
is.
throws, making the free throws.
He's got a little hockey in him. You don't know hockey, do you?
It's a game played on the ice.
Yeah, it's a great game.
There's blue lines.
Big Shem now with 9 points. He's 1 of 2 from the line. Under 10 minutes to play first. Oh, that's a travel as Nadoba tried to get around the defender but ran right into a teammate. Turnover number 7 for Bryant.
Yeah, turnovers, quick shots for Bryant. You're having a tough time scoring in the half court, but when you get there, you want to make sure you run some offense. You know, you don't try to beat Gonzaga's defense on that initial action. Swing the ball 2 or 3 times, force Gonzaga to guard you a bit. Right now, everything's too quick for Bryant.
And there's the foul called, and that is number 2 on Ikenna Naduba. And that is 18 fouls on Bryant, so Perkins at the free throw line. And Naduba will go out of the game, and he's replaced by Nezre Zuzwa, number 2. Josh with his first point of the game. Obviously, he missed some time to start the season. How long does it take Josh to get back into the full swing of things and fit right in?
It shouldn't take any time at all. He didn't miss practice time. He really made huge strides last season. I felt once league play started in that opening weekend, he had 26 at Santa Clara, essentially willed Gonzaga to win on the road. Ever since then, I thought he was extremely solid. So I don't think he's working his way back in any stretch.
He ended up having a great season. I mean, nearly 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratio, shot the ball well from behind the arc, and really matured as a point guard towards the end of the year. Made sure that Gonzaga was in what they needed to be in, control the tempo of the game. I think people forget because it's coming off the bench how good he is.
6 on the shot clock. Ball stripped away by Williams. Another turnover against Bryant. And Silas Melson with the basketball. Bounce pass to Karnowski. Shemek. Jump hook left hand, too hard. And rebounded Hunter Ware. Zuzwe drives the baseline right at Karnowski, and he throws it in.
Well, their coaching staff said Zuzwe will not back down. We've seen that tonight, taking it right at the big fella.
And a foul inside. I believe this will be called on Karnowski.
Rip to the baseline, 2 dribbles.
That's a big time finish. That's probably a foul. I mean, last year started 25 of 31 games. Look, he was their leading scorer last year. Really starts with him on the offensive end, averaged 13 a game. And he finished the year off wonderfully, 20 points a game the last 8 games in February. And he's picked it up here tonight as well.
Foul called on Nezre Zuzwa. Karnowski at the line. Shem now with 10 points. And he's 2 of 3, 4 of 5 from the floor.
It's good to see him get to the free throw line. First 2 games of the year, no free throws attempted. So he knocks down the second. And he gets such deep position, you have to think he's going to be able to draw a lot of fouls. And often, it's just getting Gonzaga into the bonus earlier in each half. He plays a big role.
Turnover, steal by Williams. He drives, left hand rolled off the front of the rim.
Sometimes there's just a lid on the basket for you as a player. That's seemingly Jonathan Williams to start this season.
Souzois inside, missed it. Rebound up and good by Grant. The rise on that baseline looked pure. Now it's poked out of bounds. And we'll have a substitution checking in right now. Dan Garvin coming into the game for Bryant. As number 20, Gus Riley, a junior out of New Zealand, goes to the bench for head coach Tim O'Shea. Karnowski trying to get it to Williams. Deflected away. Zuzwe on the floor, picks it up. Back come the Bulldogs of Bryant. Shot away, no good. And Williams with the rebound. Silas, left hand is short. And rebounded by Hunter Ware. Grant for 3. 5 of 9 on the season coming into tonight.
Do what you do best for Adam Grant. It's finding that three-point line, shooting it with confidence. Second one, as you said, here tonight.
Yeah, he's definitely in the scouting report. You can't leave him alone. Karnowski looking for more. Threw it away.
Right now, he's hesitating on his catches, and then when he goes into his move, he's making his move to pass rather than looking for his shot first. It's been a tough 3 or 4 possessions here for Shem on that low block.
Grant again, and he rolls in another one. And just like that, it's back to a 9-point game with 7:04 to play first half. Perkins in the corner. Jordan Matthews. Karnowski, left hand, good.
Right there, hey, quick look, no double, go right to your right shoulder, and you've got a 6-inch advantage in the low block over Betway. You just got to go to work.
And another steal. Perkins on the run out. Zags up by 13. And a timeout, 6:27 to play first half. So Bryant kind of climbed back into things behind the sharp shooting of Adam Grant. But since then, this Zag defense creating turnovers and points. Josh Perkins, the lay-in there, he's got 4. And welcome back to the McCarthy Athletic Center. Time now for the answer to tonight's Arby's trivia question. How many current Zags were on the Gonzaga squad that played against Bryant back in 2013? The answer was 4. Rem Bakamus, Shemek Karnowski, Ryan Edwards, and Dustin Triano. Come in for Arby's new fajita flatbreads today. Try them with the Angus steak or slow-cooked chicken. There's Big Shem. Good first half by him so far, 13 points. But he's also pinning fouls against Bryant. Collins patrolling the post right now. That shot is long by Neboda, but then the loose ball was picked up inside by Garvin, and he missed the bunny. And Gonzaga with another opportunity. Matthews yet to take a shot for GU. Williams clears the miss and a new clock for the Zags. Jonathan now going to work, trying to create space, but the offensive foul called on Jonathan. and that is his first.
I think what you're seeing now with Jonathan Williams is he's just forcing the issue. He wants to play so well, so bad after having sat out the transfer season after transferring from Missouri. He's talented, he's skilled. He's just pressing a little bit.
Well, you know how it is. You sit out for 18 months, all you do is work on your game. When you come back, you want to show people that you're a better player. And
Absolutely.
I think sometimes you get caught up in trying to show your new and improved game. Right now, I think he needs to keep it simple on the offensive end.
Boy, Grant with some game there. He got Melson off balance and then connected from the free throw line.
14 points now on the night. He is attacking this Gonzaga backcourt.
And the turnover there, and then the kickball call. So possession will stay with GU with 5 on the clock, and Josh Perkins into the game for Matthews. Grant has scored 13 of the last 15 for Bryant.
Grant scored over 1,500 points in high school. That's what he does. He had a great game against Notre Dame, 26 minutes, 13 points. You see what he can do from behind the three-point line, but on that last play, got himself to the free throw line and just elevated shot over the defense.
Collins, this is a 2. Zach showing the range. He's got it all, 9 points.
That's one of the reasons why he is such a valued freshman. Can score inside, has the ability to shoot it from the outside. It will get better in time, but he's got a pretty versatile toolbox for a 7-foot freshman.
Hunter Ware. And now the offensive foul called against Bryant. And it's against number 22, Dan Garvin.
This time it's inverted. You post up your point guard. Your big man spaces. A little bit of a dig down. Deliver the pass on time, on target. Knock it down, Zach Collins.
I mean, that's just an additional piece off your bench. That's also kind of differentiates Tilly and Collins from Williams and Karnowski. You know, a lot more skilled on the perimeter, able to stretch the defense with those jump shots. It's difficult to get a consistent feel defensively when you're playing Gonzaga, given the versatility and how skilled they are at all 5 spots at any given point. That really makes your life difficult when you're trying to scout, put together a game plan. And we've seen that tonight for Bryant. Great start, but as this half has kind of gone on, you've seen how it's been difficult for them to stay consistent defensively.
That foul called on Hunter Ware, his second, team's 10th. Williams will shoot 2. Bryant has 11 turnovers in their last 28 possessions. So that great start, since then they've had trouble with possessing the basketball.
Well, you know, Williams misses the second free throw. Against San Diego State, Gonzaga changed things up, went into a zone. Tonight, you start in just a half-court man-to-man, and now they've gone into this 3-quarter press, and it's wreaked havoc on Bryant as we get a 10-second count. But that's the versatility. Those are the options you have defensively.
Nesre Zuzwa didn't agree with the 10-second call. He looked up at the shot clock. It said 20 when I looked up. Nonetheless, another turnover. That's 12 now in 29 possessions. Perkins. Williams fakes the 3, drives to the rack, and more free throws coming for Jonathan Williams when we come back. 3:55 to play first half. 41-27 our score. Gonzaga Hoops is brought to you by Northwest Farm Credit Services. Northwest Farm Credit Services supports agriculture and rural communities with reliable, consistent credit and financial services today and tomorrow. And welcome back to Spokane, Washington. The Zags leading Bryant 41-27, 3:55 to play first half. Greg Heister, Dan Dickow, Richard Fox. Gonzaga tonight led by Shemek Karnowski's 13 and Williams Goss with 11. But really the turnovers, the story. But yet, guys, Bryant still within range, down by just 14 here.
Well, they're shooting 48% from the field. And I know when they get into halftime, Coach Few and his staff is going to take a look at that and say, fellas, this has to change. Yeah, we've picked up the intensity. We've forced 12 turnovers when we've been able to get on the break, but we cannot allow a team to come in here and shoot 48% from the field.
Williams now with 2 points for GU. Some pressure on the ball, but Bryant got through there. Blocked almost from behind. The shot rolled off the rim by Gus Riley. Boy, that's some tough luck there. I think Williams, though, may have gotten a fingernail on that shot.
He might have gotten a piece of it on the way up, Greg.
Collins posting up, but Williams shoots from deep. That's a three-point shot by Williams. He's got 5.
Sometimes when you're struggling, all you need to see is the ball go through the hoop. The last couple possessions got himself to the free throw line, and we'll see if that gets him on track for the season.
What I like, though, is he's been very active defensively after really coming out maybe a little bit slow on the defensive end here. This second stint on the floor, he's been much more active. You saw him, the ball went in, but he got his fingertip on the ball. He's active on the glass.
Quick shot there by Marcel Petway. And it's a 16-point GU lead. No look. Catch by Williams. Spins. Bump. Scores with the left hand. Riley may have got away with that bump.
You know, sometimes when you're struggling on the offensive end, the best thing to do is focus on what you can control. Your effort, rebounding defensively as you get the foul at the rim on Collins. And I think Williams has done that here in the first half. You know, after struggling initially, he's focused on rebounding. He's played with a great energy. And sometimes that's what you need. See, good patience. He rolls. Nobody steps up, and he's got that ability. Didn't shoot a lot of threes at Missouri, but in his 2 years there, shot 35% from behind the arc. So not a big piece to his game, but he does have the ability to step out when he gets those shots on his terms.
Nezre Zuzwa at the line, averaging 16 points a game this season. He's got 6. And Williams has scored the last 7 for Gonzaga. So Zag coaching staff sticking with him in this game, even though there's been some frustrating moments.
Well, absolutely. He's had success at a very high level in the SEC with Missouri, averaged 12 and about 7. He can get it done. He just hasn't gotten himself comfortable yet here at Gonzaga.
Loose ball out of bounds off of Williams, who does not agree. It's Bryant basketball. I've never seen the officials really change their mind once they make it here, unless another official comes in, but they ain't changing this one.
That's the right call. It looked like Petway touched it, but he pulled his hand away at the last second.
Hunter Ware left it for Grant. Deflection. Williams Goss picked up by Melson. Josh Perkins. And he lost the handle. Back comes Bryant. Zuzwe on the move. Goes right at Williams Goss. And the goaltend called on Williams. Count the bucket. 15-point lead. 1:34 to play first half. And Mark Few trying to make the point that the ball did not hit the glass before Williams hit the ball.
Oh, you knew Coach Few was going to say that. I would love to see a game go by without him questioning a call or looking at a ref for some help on something. But you got to give Coach Jonathan Williams a lot of credit there. Not quitting on the play, getting back in it. Seeing a lot of positives here in game number 3 for that young man.
Perkins, Karnowski. One of his few misses here. He's 5 of 7 now from the floor. Look, all coaches try to argue for the next call, right?
Well, that's part of the deal is being
in the official's mind that he made a mistake, and maybe you get the makeup call. There's a bounce off the glass by Grant. Wow. Adam with 17 points. He'll take it. And Karnowski fouled. You saw 3 black jerseys surround him on the catch.
A great job getting himself down the floor, creating great deep post presence. At that point, you become such a target. The ball must be fed in there. If nobody comes to help, it's an easy post finish. You draw the foul, or you're able to kick it back out to wide open shooters.
Under a minute to play first half. Karnowski missing the front end. Sebastian Towns out of Chesapeake, Virginia, on the floor now for Bryant. And also coming back is Akena Naduba, number 0, as Hunter Ware goes to the bench. Shemek 1 of 2 from the line. He's 4 of 6 for the game. 14 points. Grant almost had that ball poked away by Williams-Goss.
This combo, Williams-Goss, Perkins, and Melson have been all over the floor in this three-quarter court press, making life very difficult for Bryant.
Into the corner. Zuzwa from the corner buries the three. And it's a 13-point game with 30 seconds to play this half.
And into tonight, Bryant shooting less than 30% from three. Tonight, 5 of 8. They found the range. Karnowski gets the kind roll on the left-hand jump hook. But when you're the underdog, you need that three ball to go in. And so far in the first half, Bryant's been able to stay within distance because of the three ball.
12-point game, 4 seconds to play. Zuzwa lost the handle. Williams-Goss trying to get it away. And well short. But we've got a 12-point game, gentlemen, going to half. 50-38 our score. And the score indicates that Gonzaga played well offensively. What do we see in their defense? They created turnovers, but Bryant able to score.
Yeah, defensively, you got 15 points off your turnovers, but you can't be happy with how you're guarding the three-point line.
Coach Donnie Daniels joining us now. Coach, our score 50-38 at the half. What'd you like? What didn't you like?
We're giving up too many threes to their jump shooters. That's what we didn't like. We had a hard time getting scoring. Then we had a good lead at 18, but now they've cut it to 12 at halftime. So we've got to take care of the basketball and get to their shooters.
Donnie, they shoot 54% from the field, but they turn it over 12 times. So what's the message going to be in the locker room at halftime?
Us taking care of the basketball and us getting out to their shooters. We don't want their number 2 and number 15 to get shots off without uncontested. We've helped too much out of the corner, and this last three by number 2 that was out of the corner out of Nigel. Nigel gave too much help to it.
All right, Coach, thanks for your time.
My pleasure.
Gonzaga leading Bryant 50-38 at the half. GU led by Shemek Karnowski 16. Nigel Williams-Goss had 11. But on the other side, Adam Grant 17 points. He made the last 5 of their three-point shots, and he really has kept Bryant into this game. 12 points. We're at the half. We'll be right back. And welcome back. 50-38 our score to start the second half in Spokane. And Bryant's still into this game. They're 5 of 8 from behind three, shot 62.5%, but Gonzaga just blistering from the floor. Period. 63%. 13 turnovers for Bryant. One of those weird statistical games when you look at the stats, you're thinking, and you watch Gonzaga, you think you got to be a head big. But Bryant scored just 1 field goal in nearly 7 minutes at one time in that first half. He trailed by just 12.
Well, so much of it is because of the 14 turnovers, but you know, you look at Gonzaga, they did the best job they've done all year, even though it's 3 games in, of getting themselves to the free throw line. 19 free throw attempts in that first half.
Silas Melson with the basketball, drives inside. It was too hard. Dan Garvin on the defense, but the Zags with another opportunity. Melson again from the corner. That's short. Karnowski clears it. New clock. Shemek.
He's just too big and too good for this Bryant interior. Got to give them a lot of credit for putting up the fight that they have, but that is obviously where Gonzaga's advantage lies.
Look, first half, Williams, Collins, and Karnowski combined for 32 of your 50. I think it's a pretty easy formula for Gonzaga here in the second half. Get the ball inside early.
Foul called on Marcel Petway. And Shemek going strong.
Well, Garvin attempted to block out, but one of the things that Shemek does so well on the offensive glass is use his hips really subtly to push the defense just a little bit more underneath the basket. That time, Garvin not able to block him out. Shemek gets the space, creates a second opportunity.
Petway with 3. Here's Williams, has it poked away by Garvin. And this is Duba with the basketball. And now Grant, big first half, left hand away. Williams there to contest, but you saw Grant change hands in the midair. Here's Matthews. His first shot from the floor is no good. And a foul called inside. This will be the second against Bryant this half. And it is against Dan Garvin, number 22, and that'll be his third.
Garvin getting into the paint.
Actually, I'm sorry, his fourth.
Take a look at Grant getting into the paint. The ability to switch hands in midair. Couldn't quite get the roll. Gonzaga must do a better job of him here in the second half. Take on the challenge.
Matthews again. Williams with the offensive rebound.
See what he does. That's the best part of Williams' game.
Absolutely.
Is the offensive glass. He is so difficult to block out. He creates second chance opportunities for himself, extra possessions for his team.
Over Matthews, but a foul called as Nezre Zuzwa got the shot off, but Matthews called for the personal.
Zuzwa creating himself some space. Drawing the foul, but Matthews, little screen-the-screener action. Williams cleaning it up with a little tip jam.
Look, all the expectations this Gonzaga team has this year, none of it's realized if Williams isn't a big part of it. He's that good. And he's going to figure it out. We've seen tonight this is much better performance than he had the first couple games. It's not going to take him long. He's a very, very good player. And he provides something along the front line that the other three kids don't. He's the best offensive rebounder they have. He's an excellent defender on the low block. And we saw it earlier in the first half. He's able to step out and knock down a jump shot when he's comfortable. And so he's got some skill to his game as well.
Zuzwa now with 13 points. He averages 16. There's a steal, but Grant can't get the pass. Too high from Sebastian Towns. So the unforced turnover there, and it is number 15 on this game for Bryant. And Killian Tilly, number 33, coming in for Jonathan Williams for Gonzaga. Matthews is fouled by Adam Grant, and Grant picks up his second.
Matthews had a quiet night after starting the first two games, averaging 16 and a half. He's been shut out thus far tonight, but
you know what I like, Dan? He doesn't force it. You know, if he's got the look, he's going to take it, but he plays within himself, and you've always got to honor his jump shot. He still opens things up on the offensive side of the ball, even when he doesn't look to score.
Williams-Goss driving, and now another touch foul, and this is on Akena Naduba, and that is his third personal and 4 now against Bryant already this half.
Well, credit Williams-Goss on that penetration right there. Gets a little bit of a step on the defense, gets his shoulder down, attacks the defense's hip, draws a foul on Naduba.
Williams-Goss driving, got it back from Tilly. Missed the shot. Rebound cleared by Marcel Petway. Naduba drives. Left hand short. Karnowski clears it. That shot never had a chance. Rebound number 4 for Karnowski, but Nelson can't connect at the other end. Zuzwa with the rebound, and he's got the basketball. And a foul called on Tilly. And that's an easy bucket for Towns, and that is as Melson stretching his leg out. He was slow to get down the floor, and now he's going to come out of the game replaced by Josh Perkins.
But you see the leadership and the awareness factor by Shemet Karnowski. He was trying to call for the guys to create a foul to allow Melson to either one, get it checked out or not give Bryant the ability to get in the scoring position. That being said, it turned it into almost a 4-point play.
Blocked by Karnowski, outlet to Williams-Goss. Tilly remains on the floor with 3 personal fouls as the trainer continues to look at Silas Melson over there on the bench. Kind of stretch out that leg. And Petway just picked up his 5th foul. His 4th foul, I'm sorry. And that is 5 against Bryant. And Tilly goes out of the game for GU.
We saw this lineup against San Diego State for a stretch in the second half. Karnowski and Collins. I like this look. Collins is athletic enough, skilled enough to play the 4 spot. And you got 2 7-footers out there at the same time. That's very difficult at this level to compete against around the rim.
Frankly, you hardly ever see 2 7-footers playing together in the NBA anymore unless one of them is a wing-type player.
And the offensive foul called here. And I believe it's on Collins.
Let's take a look here, Greg. You referenced Silas coming up, a little gimp right there on the moving to his left as he looks to land after releasing the shot. Looks like it might be his left leg. Let's hope he's okay.
Collins picked up his third personal foul. That's 3 on GU. Grant, little stop and go. But another foul called here against GU now. And so all of a sudden, fouls starting to rack up. We're only 3.5 minutes into this second half, and already we've got 9 fouls.
9 fouls.
Once again, it's one of the points of emphasis, cleaning up, defending the ball handler. That time, Williams Goss puts his hand on the offensive player. That's an easy call in today's game.
Nice box out by Matthews. The lob to Collins from Williams Goss, and Collins with 2 more. And getting the bounce and the soft roll from Sebastian Towns. Still a 12-point game. And another whistle inside. Karnowski frustrated as Gus Riley picks up one here, his first. It'll be 6 now against Bryant. But let me ask you, again, I'm a layman here, right? But I'm not noticing a whole lot different between the first half and the second half. Why all these whistles now? Why the emphasis in the second half and not the first half? A lot of shrugs from my partners.
Well,
That's a good question to ask.
It is a good question, and it is frustrating, primarily for the players out there on the floor. You've got a rhythm. You played 20 minutes, and now it feels like it's a different game. But, officials they use halftime as well. They discuss the first half, what they saw, what they think they might have missed, what they need to focus on, and I think it's pretty obvious here to start the second half that they want to eliminate a lot of the contact away from the ball, whether it be on post touches, on cuts, or on dribble drives. And, this is a point of emphasis now, but a lot of these calls were always fouls. It's gotten away from the college game where you see a lot of contact at this level that you don't see at FIBA or the NBA, and I think they're trying to clean it up.
Well, Sebastian Towns just picked up his third personal there. That's 7 against Bryant.
Little 2-3 zone here from GU.
Here's Towns inside, falling away against Karnowski. That kid's got some touch in those fingertips.
Tough shot. You find the soft spot of the zone, and then mano a mano, take it right at Big Shem with the fadeaway.
Karnowski. Boy, that's just solid there.
I'm going to one-up you here. I'm going to put my big rear right underneath the basket, get great post position, and finish with the hook.
You're talking about his, right? 20 for Karnowski. Riley had his hands on it. Karnowski saved it. Got it to Perkins. Up to Williams Goss. And a whistle. No bucket. And an offensive foul called on Collins, and that's his 4th.
That's the right call. Collins trying to make some room for William Goss on that drive. Stepped in front of the defender.
12-point game, but we do have our play of the game brought to you by the Rockwood Health System. The lob, William Goss to Collins. Zach already with 11 points and 3 rebounds, but he's in some foul trouble. 15 minutes to play when we come back. 15:09 to play in Spokane. Gonzaga with a 12-point lead against Bryant. Already 12 fouls called in this second half. You can see one here on Zach Collins, who threw that shoulder into Towns, trying to create space for his partner.
Crafty, but illegal.
But his 4th. I mean, that's the problem. His 4th personal foul, and now he has to be on the bench.
Well, those are some of the growing pains that you will experience as a freshman.
Yeah, exactly. Tilly and Collins are not going to be perfect all year long. I mean, as good as they've been even tonight, they're going to have stretches where they struggle, make some mistakes. And right there, that's a young player being a little bit overzealous on the offensive side of the ball.
Adam Grant with the ball. Big first half for him. There's the steal. Matthews with Williams Goss. Matthews takes it the distance, but Williams running the floor with the tip in.
Second time tonight, following up the play in transition, getting the tip.
4th offensive rebound for Williams tonight. 7 rebounds, 11 points. What a response after really struggling the first 2 games of the year.
Making the game easy on himself.
Validating the minutes is what he's doing. There's a shot. Rebounded by Karnowski, off by Hunter Ware. Perkins And a whistle and another foul. And this is going to go against GU. Jonathan Williams picks up his second.
Matthews doing a great job getting in the passing lane. Little Euro step, not quite able to finish, but Williams not anticipating the make.
No, and he started
on with the play.
And he started on his baseline on the steal.
Those are little things that don't show up in the stat sheet. Absolutely.
It is hard to get a big to buy in to running the floor that way when there's no guarantee you're getting the ball as Williams knocks down the first free throw.
And a foul on Riley puts Williams at the line, and Riley out of the game. Jonathan now with 13 points, 7 rebounds. Riley, Zuzwa, this is a deep three. Karnowski clears it. Shemek with 8 rebounds, 20 points. Williams already hit 1 3. You've got to defend it now. Karnowski. Williams! The flush.
The understanding of spacing and where a double's coming from and where your open man is going to be has really improved immensely in the time off for Shemek Karnowski. He was starting to understand it, but I think all that time off really learned how to play the game in a different way.
Karnowski the block, and then the swat to Williams-Goss. The lob to Williams into the corner. Perkins for 3 is off. Williams had the rebound, poked away by Towns. Saved right to Towns, though. Zuzwa drives that baseline and scores. Zuzwa with 15.
Between Zuzwa and Grant, that backcourt's giving the Zags all they can handle.
Karnowski left.
So you talk about the Bryant guards going to work. Big fella, Shemek Karnowski, 22 points now tonight, making the game look easy.
And now a whistle and a timeout on the floor with 12:41 to play. Gonzaga leading it by 18. Shemek Karnowski. Not only can he score, but he can dish it off. Jonathan Williams coming alive for GU. He's got 15 points. Gonzaga leads it now by 18. Back tonight, Smiles of the Game brought to you by Delta Dental. A healthy smile is a powerful thing. Find the easiest way to take care of your smile at DeltaDentalWashington.com with tips and tools to keep you and your smile strong all season long. Delta Dental of Washington, proud supporters of healthy smiles and your Gonzaga Bulldogs. Again, that's DeltaDentalWA.com. Good looking smiles. Everybody's happy here in Zagville tonight. 18-point lead. Richard Fox all dressed up. Dan Dickow going a little more casual. Got his flip-flops and beach attire on. There's a nice dump in and a finish by Marcel Petway.
I ain't pushed you to be able to wear jeans. I don't know who I talked to about that, but
here's Karnowski. Big game already for him. 22 points. And Grant, remember, he had a big final 10 minutes in that first half for Bryant. He's looking for the shot now. They got to get him the ball sooner. There's a whip pass down to the baseline. Great use of his body to seal off Karnowski, and Garvin scores. Tell you, with Bryant, with so many young players on the floor, you got to give them credit. They have not played scared at all tonight. Coming all the way across the country. Williams, his second 3 of the game. Wow!
He's having his coming out party as a Bulldog here tonight. Great job of allowing the game to come to him after the first few minutes of this game.
Grant baseline, left it for Garvin, bangs into Karnowski, skip out. And Grant finds the opening for 3. That's long. And Williams another rebound, his 8th of the game. He's got 18 points.
starting front line of Karnowski and Williams. 40 points tonight.
Nelson. Karnowski has it slapped away by Adam Grant. And the foul called on Grant. That'll be his third. That's 9 against Bryant. Gonzaga's offense coming alive. Jonathan Williams, his second free ball of the game. And Jonathan with 18 points, 8 rebounds. Back. Enjoy low fares to amazing places. Alaska Airlines flies connecting to Spokane to over 100 destinations, including Costa Rica and New York City. Book now at alaskaair.com as we look at the upcoming schedules for GU. Everybody kind of, that showdown with Arizona on December 3rd, everybody kind of circled, but some big games prior to that.
They are. They've got a great tournament going down to in Orlando, Disney World, the Advocare Invitational, which they won. I believe it was 4 years ago. But, you know, the Arizona game is going to be a great showdown. I think maybe the best individual showdown might be the game against UW with their fabulous freshman, Markelle Fultz. He might be a top 2, top 3 pick. He has been as good as anybody in the country as a freshman. 30 points or more in both of their games.
Shem at the line where he's now 4 of 7, 22 points, 8 rebounds in 20 minutes of action. Missed them both. Grant with 17 points for Bryant, but he's been very quiet here in the second half. The Zags defense doing a much better job. Again, that's a tough pass to handle inside. It was intended in there for Marcel Petway. And I looked over at the head coach, Tim O'Shea, and he's telling Grant, shoot the ball.
Absolutely, especially after the way he shot in that first half. You would expect him to be in attack mode and searching out opportunities.
He hasn't scored here in the second half. Only gotten 2 shots up. A nice adjustment from Gonzaga, making sure they know where he is. That's part of those little details that really matter. There's a big difference between being a good team and a great team. It's often those details.
Matthews looking for his first field goal. That shot's off. Collins, great rebound. Reset to Perkins. Lob, Collins lay-in.
Great find. A little look away to the lob. Josh Perkins, when he stays under control, he can really get this offense going, moving in the right direction.
That shot is long by Riley. Great rebound by Garvin to dig it out of there. Here's Grant at Tilly. Tilly, great defense. Zuzwa inside. Left it. And a great finish there by Marcel Petway. Good offense by Bryant.
You get the ability to get in the gaps off of dribble penetration was very good. And then Petway understanding there's a size difference. Get the defense up off the ground, get him off balance, then go for the finish.
Perkins uses Collins as a shield and buries the 3 from the top.
And that's what he improved at last year, is his understanding of how to come off pick and rolls and making the correct read, whether it was attack, get in the paint, create for others, or if the defense goes underneath, shoot the 3 behind the screen.
Josh with 7 points. Grant working on Melson. Zuzwa for 3. That's a deep shot over Perkins. And Zuzwa now with 18.
Zuzwa and Grant, 35 points as Collins goes inside and nearly gets the and 1. You can see how good Bryant's going to be once they get in the Northeastern Conference. Here, Josh, the no-look over the top. Just throw it up high for your 7-footer to go get in here. You know, I think part of the adjustment for Josh as he steps up and knocks down the 3 at the top of the key is last year he had the ball in his hands so much. He had so much responsibility as far as playmaking goes, getting the team last year into their offense, and he had such dominant scores in Wiltshire and Sabonis. This year he's got to be more of a scorer.
And Garvin going on to the game for Bryant. That's a big loss for him. He's a great big body in there, 6'6", 205, the senior out of Bethel, Connecticut. He's gone for the game for Bryant. Collins at the free throw line. And gentlemen, Collins is a guy now who has hit 15 of his first 20 shots.
That's efficient.
Yeah, right, in his career. Actually, it was Petway that fouled out, I'm being told. But how good is that? Has there been a player, maybe Batista, maybe Turiaf, I don't know.
Sabonis was awfully efficient the last couple of years.
Yeah, Sabonis was very good.
First 20 shots of your career.
Well,
I'm not
you know
talking
what he
15
does?
to 20 in your second or third year.
In 3 short games, what he's done is he's made the game easy on himself. Against Utah Valley, he maybe took a few uncharacteristic shots and was rushed. Now he's letting the game come to himself and making the right and quick decision.
19 turnovers now for Bryant. 76-57 our score. Marcel Petway fouled out with 10 points for Bryant. He's been a good player this half. Physical inside. He's replaced by Towns.
I really like this Bryant ball club and the makeup they have. Very young, 4 returning starters, 3 newcomers who are very, very talented. Predicted third in the Northeast Conference behind Fairleigh, Dickinson, and Wagner. But I tell you what, you give this group another year or two to kind of gel, they're going to be a very formidable foe on the East Coast, at least as far as mid-majors go.
And the foul called on Gus Riley. That's his third 10 against Bryant.
You see how young this Bryant team is. But when you talk to their staff, they believe their talent level is significantly better this year despite how young they are. And we've seen it for stretches here tonight. This is a really competitive group.
Collins and Towns battling on that low post. I knew a whistle was coming there.
And look, this is the emphasis, one of the emphasis this year is trying to clean up post play, particularly before the ball gets there. And it's a very difficult thing to officiate because you have to, it's subjective. You know, who's initiating the contact, who has the advantage. And I think the officials, just as much as the players, are trying to adjust to this new rule.
That rims out by Collins with 15 points, 3 of 6 now from the free throw line and 4 rebounds. And Sebastian Towns checks out with those 4 personal fouls. He's replaced by number 20, Gus Riley. And Riley has 3. Garvin has 4. He's on the floor as well for Bryant. 25 team fouls for Bryant so far in this game. 20-point lead. Look, it's not on the officials. It's the change of rules. It's going to take time for everybody to get used to it. Zuzwa hanging, missing. Collins the rebound. Perkins. Whistle. And free throws coming. And that was an easy one to call. 7:52 to play. Gonzaga leading it by 20. 77-57 our score with 7:52 to play in Spokane. And Richard Fox going to do some telestrator work here.
Let me educate you, Greg.
Okay,
Jordan
great.
Matthews tonight, 0 of 5. Here's Jordan, but still having an impact. It's an out-of-bounds play here for GU. Let's roll it, guys. Let's stop it. Here we've got a double, 1 screen, 2 screen. You see how open Matthews is. That's going to force the help off of Williams' man. Let's roll it. Shot goes up. Stop it. We've got no block out here on Williams. This is what he does best. The offensive glass. And look how patient he is. He lets the ball get to the rim first. He doesn't overshoot the offensive rebound. The easy two-handed flush. That just shows you, that's a quick tidbit about how valuable a guy is like Jordan Matthews, who maybe isn't having a great night scoring the ball, but because he's so good from behind the arc, he's going to open things up for his teammates. And you saw right there with Williams.
Josh Perkins at the line now with 8 points. Thank you for breaking that down for us, Richard, and I feel much more intelligent.
That's why I'm here, buddy.
Perkins with 9. And now that inbound play, part of a scouting report, right? It'll be part of a shoot around before any game that Gonzaga plays probably going forward. You gotta guard Matthews. You can't let him run to the top of the key without a defender on him.
Absolutely, but you know what the best coaches do is they don't open up their entire playbook until you get well into the meat of league season. But
better yet, you change your playbook as the year goes on.
Well, because you just keep building and layering upon things. But you know, the end of the day is everybody knows everybody's plays. It's just a matter of, can you take the scouting report and execute it, or deny the opponent from executing theirs.
And Williams-Goss got the foul a moment ago, and now Jordan Matthews picks up his 3rd personal there. 17 fouls on GU, puts Mr. Garvin at the free throw line, and I do say Mr. because he's 6'6", 205. He looks more like 6'6", 230. Like maybe he ought to be playing tight end or fullback
thinking that.
In the SEC somewhere.
It looks to me like a guy who should get a look at that position at the next level.
And there's Hunter Ware coming back in. He's out of Powder Springs, Georgia, 6'2", 170. Garvin with 7 points. Williams-Goss bangs right into Nezre Zuzwa. And, you know, with the new rule changes and the so-called emphasis, that's what's going to bother me is the end-of-game play. So, Dan, if you're down by a bucket or you're down by a point and you got the ball, why doesn't the point guard just all the time go right at the rim and create contact and create the foul?
Well, there's a fine line in doing that. But a play like that, for example, you know, that's an extremely smart play by Nigel Williams-Goss. You get the defense on their heels, you attack shoulder to hip, you draw the contact. The way the game has been told to be officiated, that is going to be a foul the majority of the time.
Greg, you can guard that, but you can't use your hands. You got to move your feet. If the offensive player, if Williams-Goss creates contact and your hands are back, a good official's not going to penalize you as a defender. Right there, the whistle's made because the hands are involved. And it's going to, you know, players need to adjust.
Grant missing there. Garvin got it back, but he is fouled, I believe, by Killian Tilly. And that'll be his 4th personal foul, and that'll put Garvin back at the line. I'm just saying, like, this game is very difficult to officiate, right? I mean, it's a very difficult game to officiate. They've made it more difficult because now you got to watch the hands and make sure that the hands are not extended from the body.
But I think it's a good thing because if you look at the NBA game, now I know this is college and the rules are always going to be slightly different, but years ago they took hand checking out of the game. They called it tighter. And a few years later, what you see is a free-flowing style of game that is very exciting for people to watch. College, one of the negatives for so long is that it was a hack-a game. You looked at a Big Ten game, and it was going to be played in the 40s. They want to speed the game up.
Perkins! 2 of 4 from behind the arc. Josh with 12. This Zag team can score from every position, and it goes 10 deep.
They can put 5 guys out there on the floor that are skilled enough to score from all 5 spots. I mean, that has not happened often in GU's history. I mean, it's really impressive as Riley knocks down the long jump shot.
Gus Riley out of New Zealand. Here's the lob. Great catch by Collins. No bucket here. Foul before the shot.
Said he was held.
He was held.
The whistle happened before he went up to catch the pass.
But see, we can have conversations about almost literally every whistle that's blown by the refs, but this one in particular makes no sense to me. The fact of the matter is Zach Collins is trying to go up and catch it, and it's the same movement, going to catch it and finish all in one. That should be basket and shooting 1 free throw for the 3-point play.
I understand in time we may have a better game. This is just going to be difficult to watch for a while.
Yeah, but I think it's an investment in the game. I mean, there's going to be some growing pains. Collins knocks down the 2nd free throw. I think it will benefit college basketball to see it more like FIBA and the NBA as far as the freedom of movement. You know, at times the last few years, it's been very difficult to watch as a casual fan just any game.
Well, the next question becomes is they adjusted the shot clock from 35 down to 30, which I like, but I think they could have taken the next step up and gone to 24 and make it consistent from college, FIBA to the NBA.
Brian Albert's on the floor. Nigel Williams-Goss may be done for the night. 13 points. 7 of 7 from the free throw line. 4 rebounds, 5 assists. Nice line. Garvin banged into Collins. Zach went straight up. No foul. I guess there's the example of it. Ooh, Perkins.
Passed up the first good look.
Yeah.
One little rhythm dribble into it, knocking it down. 3rd 3 of the night.
I think he's got to change his mentality a little bit this year. He's got to be more assertive with his offense. You know, he's so accustomed to being the playmaker, but with Williams-Goss out there on the floor as well, as Garvin battles inside and gets the offensive rebound. But you know, when he's playing with Williams-Goss in particular, Perkins has to almost switch the mindset. Look, I can be a scorer here at this off-guard position. So he needs to look for a shot a little bit more aggressively than he might be accustomed to doing.
Well, the fact is, he can be so difficult to guard in second side pick and roll actions, which is a staple of what Gonzaga does.
Collins the miss, Tilly the offensive rebound, and a chance for 3. foul called on Garvin, and now he's fouled out. 91-65 the score.
Great minutes from Garvin here. We see the three from Collins. He's got that in him. And, of course, Tilly just a nose for the ball. Good pump fake. Garvin gets caught off up in the air. But Garvin, 9 points, 4 of 8 from the field, 7 rebounds. He really competed tonight.
And there's Ikenna Naduba checking back in for Bryant, who has 3 players still with 4 fouls. 2 already out, 3 more with 4 personal fouls. Under 5 to play. Naduba drives, and Collins picks up another personal foul. And that's going to be his 5th. So Zach Collins out of the game with his 18 points. And we've seen that now. He's gotten into foul trouble a couple times, gentlemen.
But that's the luxury that you have with 4 bigs, being Karnowski, Williams, Collins, and Tilly. If one of them gets in foul trouble, it's not that big of a deal, especially, in my opinion, for the 2 young freshmen. They've got to have the ability to learn how to play through foul trouble, to learn to play in different experiences and different settings. It's all going to pay off for Gonzaga down the road if they're going to make a long run into March, which is what everybody is gearing up for here in Spokane.
In 18 minutes, Collins had 18 points and 6 rebounds.
That's a point a minute, Greg.
Jeez, you know, it just...
I used to be a banker.
You used to be. You weren't successful? Is that what you mean by you used to be?
Depends who you ask, I suppose.
Well, you're getting better, Richard. Tilly tries the 3. And now another foul inside. And this will be against Bryant. And it's going to be against number 54, Sebastian Towns. And that's his 5th. So he's out of the ball game. And that means Gus Riley, I think maybe the only forward left on the roster coming in.
46 fouls, guys.
Yeah, a lot.
It feels like a lot.
I mean, we've played 35. That's better than a foul a minute.
So much of it. Yes, that's true.
You're taking the lead from him to get in on the math.
We're working on our math skills.
Math is contagious. Yeah. It's so many of the whistles are away from the ball. That's not something that we've seen the last few years, and it's just the emphasis. They're trying to clean up play on the low block, on dribble penetration, offensive rebounds. Williams knocks down the 2nd free throw. It's going to take some time. The game might take a step back as far as watchability for a few weeks, but I think players will adjust quickly.
As long as they continue to call it the same the rest of the season, and it just doesn't go away like we've seen in the past.
That's not going to happen. I mean, they've changed the rules at times, and you get into the heart of conference play, depending on what conference you're in, that style always seems to come back.
Perkins feeling it. Josh with 18 points. And there's the deflection by Williams out of bounds. It'll be Gonzaga basketball when we come back. 3:51 to play. Gonzaga enjoying their largest lead of the game. It's at 30. Gonzaga Hoops is brought to you by Numerica Credit Union. Zag fans, show your Bulldog pride with your Go Zags debit card. Only at Numerica. Gonzaga leading Bryant 96-66 with 3:51 to play. Gonzaga's bench has been big.
Well, Greg, it's time to announce our Subway sub of the game, and tonight's sub is Josh Perkins. Subway's introducing the new autumn carb turkey sub. It's available at all Subway restaurants. Greg, I'm telling you, savor the thick slices of oven-roasted white meat. It's drizzled with a sweet cranberry mustard sauce, and it's only for a limited time, so buy some.
Wow.
For you and your lovely bride tonight. Enjoy a great meal.
Great.
It is delightful.
And Gonzaga's bench outscoring Bryant's bench 38-9. Josh Perkins liking that 3-ball tonight. He's 4 of 6 from behind that line. Brian Alberts, Dustin Triano on the floor, and there is Rui Hachimura, number 21. Here's Killian Tilly, left it short, tried to get it back, poked it out of bounds, and it should be Bryant's basketball. Yes, I'm not sure anybody wants. No, it's going to be Gonzaga basketball, and Rui will be inbounding it. Here's Alberts, short corner. Well, hard to find anything wrong with his Zag offensive effort tonight. They close in on 100. Uh-oh. Watch out for Rui. Only Riley is back. Rui got away with a little shove, but finished anyways.
See his length there in transition. I mean,
3 dribbles from opposite free throw line to finishing at the rim.
And that shot is off by Hunter Ware. Rui has it poked away as he drives to the bucket. Poked away by number 3, Boshko Koster out of Melbourne, Australia. And there's number 10, Taylor McHugh, a guard out of Centerville, Virginia, checking in to Bryant. And here comes Tanner Johnson as well, number 21. Gonzaga's defense doing a great job on Adam Grant, gentlemen, this half.
Scoreless in the second half. Tremendous in the first half, 17 points, just unable to get really freed up at all on the offensive side of the ball. You saw Silas Melson for a large stretch there taking the challenge, and I think that's going to be his primary function here for GU as Rui takes the 3. Silas is their defensive stopper.
Alberts, great rebound, threw it away. Ball still loose. Rui poked it to Edwards, and now Alberts with it. Fans enjoying the effort. Falling away, the shot is short, but a foul called. And this will be on number 3, Boshko Koster. And Gonzaga, 100 points. Your teams ever score 100?
All the time.
101 now for Alberts. There's Shemek Karnowski. He is our A to Z rental player of the game. No job too big or too small. 7 convenient locations. We rent everything. Let it A to Z rental be your most valuable player. Shemek, big game tonight. 22 points, 8 rebounds, 9 of 13 from the floor.
I think we can put to rest the fact that he is back and healthy from his back surgery that limited him to 5 games a season ago.
Alberts with a steal. Gonzaga with the numbers. Here's Rui Hachimura in transition. And free throws coming. Rui just needs to go up and slam that. He's an exquisite athlete.
He really is. He is. He's got so much potential. Great kid. He's got a lot of natural ability. And not only does he have good instincts on both ends, but a lot of the skill of the game has come to him naturally as he knocks down the free throw. It's right now just the processing information. When the language is that much of a challenge for you, it's just going to take you longer to pick things up, to learn what the staff wants. It's not going to be long, though, before he has an impact as he knocks down the second free throw.
That was the 19th foul this half for Bryant. Shot way off by number 5, Terrell Toe. And that shot is off by Taylor McHugh. And Rem Bakamus will be checking in for GU next. Here's Tilly. Edwards tried to go to Tilly inside. Got the ball back. Hachimura, the 3, that's off. Edwards fights for the rebound, but a foul call here. That's number 1 on Edwards. So this will put number 20, Gus Riley, at the line to shoot 2 with 1:20 to play.
Pretty cool story for Gus Riley is from New Zealand. His parents flew all the way from New Zealand to come watch this game, and Riley didn't even know. He was surprised by his parents upon arrival in Spokane.
First time in his college career they've seen him play live.
As we near the 1-minute mark, Gonzaga's going to get to 3-0. Here's Backamus, threw a wild one to Edwards. And now Bryant with the opportunity, but Rui's back there defensively. No go, says Rui Hachimura. And a foul at the other end.
He's got a big smile on his face, too. How about this? This is just, all right, if you want to come in and bring it.
He's just kind of baiting him to go in for the layup. Said, I don't think so.
You can't coach that, Greg.
Boy, if only I was coachable.
No comment, buddy.
Yes. Brian Alberts. And the offensive rebound. And Rui goes to work, and he's just tied up. Gus Riley just decides to put his arms around him. Actually, was that not Riley? That was Boško Kastur.
They're going to take a look at this here, Greg.
Well, Boško thought he was playing Australian rules football there for a moment. You can't blame him. He's from Australia.
Well, refs are going to go take a look at the monitor and determine whether it's a flagrant 1 or a flagrant 2. Fortunately, at this point of the game, it's just a foul. Play on.
Yeah, I mean, he feels like he gets bumped. He does. He's frustrated, and here he just wraps him up. I mean, that's just a common foul in my view. And he tries to hold him up. So.
Yeah, I don't know what they're looking at. I don't understand.
Flagrant 1, the difference is a flagrant 1 is excessive. Flagrant 2 is excessive with intent. And I don't think that fits the description for either one of those.
That's what I meant. Why are you looking at it?
Oh, I thought you meant why are you explaining it?
No. It's good that you're here, Dan. I never doubt that. They are calling intent.
Oh, boy.
If you're an official, just call the common foul, let the game go, let's wrap it up.
So Hachimura at the free throw line. And you can tell Boško none too happy over there on the bench. Hachimura now with 5 points in 4 minutes.
He's got a great release. He's got the athletic ability. He plays hard. When he puts it all together, Dan,
it's going to be scary. I'll tell you that much. Gonzaga's never had a 3 that can do what he potentially can. At this moment, he's a 4, but I think he'll become a 3.
He's on the post right now looking for the basketball. Edwards from the free throw line.
Edwards running down the floor, shaking his head. You're not going to guard me? Absolutely, I'm going to knock it down.
And another foul call. And at the line goes Nezre Zuzwa. Richard, you want to say his name, Nezre Zuzwa?
Nezre Zuzwa.
Well, these 109 points for Gonzaga, the most that they have scored since their win against Chaminade in the Maui Invitational back in 2013 when they scored 113 points. Here's Alberts for 3. And Zuzwa with the rebound. Fans coming to their feet now. And blocked from behind. Hachimura all over the place now for Gonzaga. Easy pickings for him.
I tell you what, he's offensively is where he's struggling. I think soon they're going to have to find a role for him defensively. When you're playing the likes of Arizona and you're going down to Orlando, to have that kind of athlete on the wing, it can change the flow of any game that you're in. I mean, it's really impressive.
There's a high-arching shot that's off. Eldridge with the rebound. Ladies and gentlemen, Gonzaga is going to get to 3-0 on this early season. They defeat Bryant 109-70, led by Shemek Karnowski's 22 points. He was the player of the game for GU. He also had 8 rebounds. He was 9 of 13 from the floor. 5 zags in double figures for head coach Mark Few. For Dan Dickau, Richard Fox, and the rest of our crew, I'm Greg Heister saying good night from the McCarthy Athletic Center. Happy Thanksgiving. The Zags are 3-0.